Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Video. So, overnight we got a new archetype, kind of, not really, it's really just generic support for Dinos, which is one of my favorite decks, if not my absolute favorite deck to play in Yu-Gi-Oh! Whether it's at locals, it's actually the only deck I've ever played at locals, or in Master Duel. I absolutely love playing Dinos, and we got some awesome new support coming out for Dinos, which is awesome. So the theme that we got is Transcendrake. A lot of the extra deck support that we got are actually upgrades of normal monsters, like vanilla monsters from way back in the day. Frostosaurus, Megazowler, which is really, really cool. So we're going to break down all of that, and honestly, this support, at least to me, seems really, really good. There's a couple of cards that seem really good, and again, Transcendrake is not really its own archetype. It really is more so generic Dino support, and actually, the XZ's monster and the Synchro monster are just generic monsters in general. Like, they don't even need Dino monsters to be summoned, so it's very, very generic. That being said, as someone who loves, you know, Soul Eating Oviraptor, Miscellaneousaurus, Ultimate Conductor, can I easily slide these cards into that Dino deck? Most likely, yes. So I'm totally cool with that. But without further ado, let's get into the cards. So the first card that we get is a level 6 fire dinosaur tuner monster called Xeno Meteorous. Both effects can only be used once per turn. If a card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can activate this effect. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except dragon, dinosaur, sea serpent, and worm monsters. Also, destroy one dinosaur monster you control or in your hand, then special summon one dinosaur normal monster from your hand or deck. So you love when Dino monsters have that effect that you can destroy a dinosaur monster you control or in your hand because of Baby Cerosaurus. Baby is such a good card because it does not really have a once per turn effect, so you can keep destroying that monster in order to get its effect off, and Baby Cerosaurus really makes the Dino deck one of the many cards that makes the Dino deck really operate at a very good level. So this tuner monster has that effect where it can pop a monster from your hand or on your field, which is really, really cool. And then you also get to special summon one from your hand or deck. So that is a really good effect, and you probably realize that it's a tuner monster. Yeah, we are getting a synchro dinosaur monster, which is really, really awesome. So we'll get to that in a little bit. We kind of have our Ultimate Conductor Tyranno variant here. Not really, but it just reminds me of it because it's a level 12 with 3,500 attack, a big boy, and that is Transcendrake Meteorous. So this monster, again, 3,500 attack. Much like Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, it cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned by a card effect. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. So how do you summon this monster? During your opponent's turn, you can destroy 2 other Dino monsters you control and or in your hand, and if you do, special summon this card. So fascinating, right? Ultimate Conductor, you have to summon on your own turn by banishing 2 Dinos from your grave. With this monster, which again, similar to Ultimate Conductor because it's getting rid of 2 monsters in some way, and it's got the 3,500 attack, you have to do it during your opponent's turn. So you can obviously do it in their main phase too, so you don't have to worry about this monster getting destroyed as soon as it gets summoned, or you can use it as protection if you maybe don't have a good board setup. But a really cool version, a really cool play on that whole style, where you can summon this card on your opponent's turn, which is interesting. And then its other effects, if this card is special summoned, you can send 1 Dino monster from your deck to the grave, and if this card is destroyed, you can shuffle 1 normal monster from your grave into the deck, then you can special summon this card. So this card kind of encourages you to play some normal monsters, which is interesting. If you send a normal dinosaur monster from your deck to the grave based on its previous effect, like Megazowler for instance, and then this card gets destroyed, you can just put Megazowler from your grave back to the deck, and then you can re-special summon this card. So it's got pretty good recovery, which is really, really cool. Might not have any sort of protection, but it's got good recovery as long as you have a normal monster in the grave. But now we're getting to the real big boys of this deck, the extra deck new monsters that we are getting, and we are getting a Megazowler evolution, and that is Transcendrake Gigantozowler. It might be Gigantozowler. It's probably Gigantozowler. But this fusion monster has 3,800 attack. The thing I love about dinosaurs is their attack stats are just usually so ridiculous. And the materials are 1 dino monster and 1 normal monster. So again, a lot of the support, you kind of do have to play, maybe not a lot of it, but some of it you do have to play a normal monster to either use it or get its full value. You can only use both effects of this card once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 dino monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Then, if this card was special summoned from the graveyard, you can destroy 1 card you control or in your hand and 1 card your opponent controls. That could be useful, again, because of Baby Sarah, and you get to destroy a card on your opponent's field. And then, if this card is destroyed, you can shuffle 1 normal monster from your grave into the deck. Then you can special summon this card. So again, just like the other Dino we just went over, no real protection, but pretty good recovery there as long as you have a normal monster in your graveyard. And really, all of this support has that same effect. The Synchro and the XZs do as well, where you can shuffle 1 normal monster from your grave into the deck, then special summon this card. So it'll be interesting to see how Dino decks are constructed, because if you want to use this new support, you are encouraged to run a couple of normal monsters, and it would not surprise me if some Megazowlers or something of that nature are going to be run in order to maximize the recovery effect of these monsters. But now let's get into the Synchro. So this is an upgrade of Frostosaurus, which is called Transcendrake Glaciosaurus. It is 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner, not even a Dino tuner. So this is true generic Synchro here, and you can only use the 3rd effect of this card's name once per turn. The first effect cannot be destroyed by battle, and the second effect, your opponent cannot target your dinosaur monsters special summoned from the graveyard with card effects. Also, they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So the first sort of protection effect that we have seen with this new support, and my god, does this seem really good. First of all, it's got the same recovery in the event that it is destroyed as long as you have a normal monster in your grave, and it finally has protection. Cannot be destroyed by battle, and cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So this monster seems like the best of all of the support so far because it has that protection, and it can also protect your other dinosaur monsters from being targeted as long as they were special summoned from the graveyard with card effects. So a really, really good Synchro monster there. And again, the fact that it's generic, can this be used in some other decks? I don't see why not. I mean, I think if you have the capability of summoning this monster, you might want to consider playing it. Now, granted, that second effect really only applies to, if you're running a Dino deck, so you're probably not getting the full value if you're running this in a non-Dino deck, but still, it is generic. And another monster that is generic is the XZs monster, which is a rank 6 dinosaur XZs. Materials, 2 level 6 monsters. A generic XZs card here, and this card is based on Lanciferinchus. Probably saying that wrong. It is actually a pendulum monster, which is fascinating. 3,000 attack. You can only use the first and third effect of this card's name once per turn. You can detach 1 material from this card, then target one of your banished dinosaur monsters, special summon it. So if you banish a couple of monsters off of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, you XZ summon this, you can pull back a maybe Soul Eating Oviraptor or whatever you decided to banish. Miscellaneousaurus, whatever you want there. And then the other once per turn effect, if this card is destroyed, you can shuffle 1 normal monster from your grave, then you can special summon this card. So again, that same recovery effect. Then its other effect, if this card with no materials battles another monster, any battle damage it inflicts to your opponent is doubled. So that's pretty cool. You can maybe do some really big damage there. But again, you have to be battling another monster, and you have to have no material with this XZ's monster. And because the detaching 1 material is only once per turn, I don't really see that effect being too utilized or useful. But interesting nonetheless. And then the spell card that we get, the final card, is Ground Zeno. Probably a reference to, Ground Zero with the meteor hitting and wiping away the dinosaurs. The artwork for all these cards, by the way, absolutely insane. And this artwork is a dino standing in a crater that either a meteor just struck or is about to strike, or maybe this Dino's roar has created that crater, which would also be really cool. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. You can add one Dino Tuner or normal monster from your deck to your hand, then destroy one card in your hand. Again, Baby Ceratosaurus, pretty good for that. And then you can banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon one dinosaur monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. So this spell card literally acts as a polymerization when it's in your grave, which is crazy. So this seems like a really good spell card as well, especially because you have that ability to pop a Baby Ceratosaurus from your hand to get its effect off. And you can add a Dino Tuner or normal monster. But again, to use that effect, you have to be running a Dinosaur Tuner or be running like a Megazowler or a normal monster. So guys, these are all the new Dino support cards that we are getting in the OCG. I imagine in the TCG soon as well, which is so freaking cool. I just love dinosaurs. I think they have some of the best artwork in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! I really do. I love dinos, and it's so cool to see Megazowler, a card that has to be over 20 years old, right? I mean, I remember playing that level 4 high attack vanilla monster. That was like 8-year-old me's like strategy on those old Game Boy games for Yu-Gi-Oh! Just summon as many, Vorse Raider was another one. Just summon as many high attack level 4 monsters as possible. So that card's got to be at least 20 years old, and it is, man, it's so cool that we're getting an evolution of that card and an evolution of course, Frostosaurus and Lanciferinchus as well. But let me know all your thoughts on this. Let me know if you think these cards are going to make dinos really, really strong. Again, we still have Ultimate Conductor, which is also a really, really super good card. But I'm interested to hear your opinions on all of this. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm excited to talk all things Dino down below in the comments. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patron, Panther J, to my Diamond tier patrons, Latrell Smith and Jesse Woods, and to my Egyptian God tier patron, Pink Penguin. Thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon and whoever is a YouTube channel member. You guys help me out so much. And if you want some exclusive channel perks, definitely check out both of those sites and features. Be sure to check out my channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime content. And until next time, I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.